Today, I'm here at the Commemorative Air Force Museum. Hi Jace, I'm calling you because I'm looking to get a little bit more information on the F-16s. I'm going to be talking to some pilots, doing an interview in a little bit, so I want to get a little more information. Maybe you could give me... All right, thanks a lot. I have to go. I've got to meet with these pilots, so thanks a lot. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Larry. What are you doing? We're here waiting set up for you. How long are you going to be?
Well, I had a little bit of a problem here. I had to get a jump on my car. I'm pretty close. I'm about 5 minutes out.
It's going to be about 15 minutes yet.
Hey, nice to meet you, Craig. I'm Larry J.
Nice to meet you, Steve. Steve, yeah.
I brought in some sectional maps from the European theater, the aircraft missions from the 1943 era for the pilots to look at. Craig Judd is a commercial pilot instructor. He's going to school me today on 80-year-old warbirds. Hey, Craig, so I understand that you volunteering, and most people here are volunteers.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about the involvement that you're here flying the Texan, but the Texan is part of the museum.
Right.
So basically, how did you get started and come out here?
Well, I was an aerospace engineer for my career. Always loved aviation. My father was a World War II naval aviator, and he taught us to fly when we were teenagers, all of us kids.
That's awesome. What did he fly when he was?
Hellcat in World War II and a Corsair in Korean War. And then he actually flew a 4-engine transport plane to Vietnam. He got his in-country medal for the Vietnam War.
Oh, wow.
So he had three different.
Those are definitely iconic planes. Of course, you could say that about most of the warbirds. They are iconic. So now you take people up in this plane. These planes are actually running today. And
That's
you
correct.
can actually...
We have 6 airplanes that we sell rides in, all World War II airplanes.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And these planes are like at least 70 years old?
80.
80 years old. Well, those are old planes to be up flying, for sure.
Well, if they're maintained every 100 hours, they get taken apart and inspected, and they're like new conditions.
Oh, that's awesome. Craig and I discuss the Texan trainer and what it did in World War II. So Craig, this is the Texan. This is what you take people up in. Can you give me an idea of what the Texan can do as far as bombs or anything they did in World War II?
Yeah, the Texan was the advanced training plane in World War II. You started in that biplane, the Stearman. If you passed the Stearman, and only 50% did, you went on to the advanced trainer.
Okay.
Now the advanced trainer was advanced because of a number of features. It had retractable landing gear. It had a 600 horsepower engine. It had a gun in the right wing, a gun up top, and it could carry 500-pound bombs. So this airplane taught you combat, whereas the Stearman taught you how to fly, primary training.
It's extraordinary for me to have the opportunity to climb into the Stearman.
Got it. Pull it back. Feet on the pedals.
Okay.
Ready to climb. Oil temperature, oil pressure, and turn it down.
I feel pretty comfortable in there.
Yeah, it's a pretty big cockpit.
I think I could really do some damage.
Whereas the Stearman taught you how to fly, primary training, and this got you into combat, how to fly formation, how to navigate, things that you needed to do to go to war.
A lethal weapon to take care of pretty much any problem you'd have back in that period.
After you passed this plane, you got your wings. You were a military pilot.
So, I'm grabbing onto the peg, pushing off, grabbing onto the other peg, and this is how you arrive to the cockpit.
So the student would sit up here in the front cockpit. You have your control stick, your throttles over here on the left side, rudder pedals down at the bottom, basic instrumentation. There's a little mirror so you can see behind yourself. Everybody in the airplane wears a headset so you can talk back and forth. It's very loud, so you need a headset. We can put parachutes on and actually fly aerobatics in this airplane too, but we don't normally do that with testing.
Steve Reisinger is going to talk about his insights flying the F-16 fighter jet. So Steve, I understand you train in combat and you flew the F-16.
Yes. I trained for combat, correct. I never actually got into combat, just the way it worked out. Yes, I was 20 years in the Air Force, pilot the whole time, and like I said, started just as Vietnam was ending, so there was not a combat opportunity there. But I wasn't able to go to the Gulf War because I was stationed in Korea at the time, flying F-16s. But the reason we were in Korea had not changed, the North being right across the border there. So we, as a unit, we did not get to go to that. But I've talked to a lot of my buddies that did go because all the years of training, and you kind of want to validate the training, the tactics we had come up with, would they work, were they valid enough, and I talked to enough of my friends that were in that conflict, and yes, they really are. I mean, we fought that war very intelligently, took out all the enemy air defenses, and I'm talking from an air battle point of view, not the entire battle, and so we had control of the skies, which made it a lot more safe and a lot more productive.
That sounds like quite an accomplishment, in itself. Take me through the process of you finding the museum and how you got to the museum, and you are now volunteering.
Right. Well, I had always heard about this museum, but when I was flying, after 20 years in the Air Force, I flew for Southwest Airlines for 23 years. Lived here in the Valley all that time, and so I was aware of it, but I was busy doing other things and didn't think that much about it. Like I said, I was actively flying, although several of our pilots here are active airline pilots still. Commemorative Air Force started right after World War II. People got together and restoring and getting World War II airplanes and keeping the flying, keeping the heritage going. I mean, so many people paid the ultimate price there to go save the world, basically, and so it started that way. And we've got squadrons all across the country now with over 150 restored and flyable World War II airplanes. Here in Arizona, like Craig said, we have 6 that we fly, and our museum is part of it. The flying part is another part of it, but in the museum we have a lot of displays. We call ourselves a World War II museum, but we have other than World War II exhibits. We're just not that big and exclusive to be that picky. We find a good exhibit and we put it on. So we have some World War I aircraft, and we have some World War II, some Korean War, and some Vietnam, and even some Desert Storm type stuff. So we're trying to show how it's evolved as weapon systems, and you can view all those in the museum. Several of them you can actually crawl up on and see into the cockpit, such like that. We also offer cockpit tours where one of those docents will take people and put them in the 3 different cockpits and let them see what it's like to be in an aircraft cockpit. And that's quite a eye-opener for a lot of people, because you see it, you hear about it, but you don't really get to do it very often.
I think that's one of the things that I appreciated when I stopped by, is that you have access to climb up onto the planes or in the cockpit. Thank you, Craig and Steve. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, it's the end of the video. So I want to thank you all for watching. General Doolittle's B-25 here, which made history, of course. I just want to thank the men and women of the military who gave us the freedoms we have to enjoy today. So thanks for watching.